We're at the World Series of Poker.
Yes,
We're patched up at the Paris Poker Room and ready for another challenge.
Today's challenge is the winningest player gets 5% of each of the other Next Gen members in the $1 million mystery bounty, which we're entering tomorrow, and that'll be the next video.
Let's
Could
go.
be worth millions.
Here we go.
Feels great to be back in Vegas, baby, and we started off just how I imagined, waking up with the ladies. There's a raise to 15, a 3-bet to 50, and I'm up next to act in the big blind. We came here to play. I increased the wager to 175. The first guy folds, and this gentleman wants to dance. He makes the call. Flop comes Jack 7 Deuce Rainbow. Quite a nice sight to see. We've got a monster. Based on the player profile, I had a hunch that this guy liked to bluff when he sensed weakness. I'm going to give him one chance to prove me right. I check. I'm rewarded for my sneakiness. He bets 175. Nothing to do but call and hope he continues to blast. I call and the turn is a 5. Second heart on board. I stick with the plan and check once more, and our guy proceeds to assemble all of his chips into a gigantic stack and slides them all across the line. $545 total. It's his time to shine. We make the quick call and head to a river which bricks out. He shakes his head, signaling he's got nothing. I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to make him show. I table the ladies and this guy mucks his cards. Let's go.
Not only is WPT one of the softest sites to play on, they're also giving away up to $1,200 to each person who's a Next Gen fan that signs up using code NEXTGEN and the link in our description box below. This is one of the softest sites I've ever played on. Poker is alive and well. Last night I just got called down in a several $100 pot. This guy had jack high and called me down all 3 streets. Click the link in our description box below, and you guys will likely run into us grinding cash games and tournaments as well.
First hand for me is Queen 9 of Spades on the button here in Las Vegas. We see under the gun +1 open to 15. The cutoff calls, we call, and the big blind calls. We're off to a flop 4 ways, which comes Queen 8-7 Rainbow with no spade. Checks to the cutoff, who bets $40, 2/3 pot, and only we make the call. Off to a turn with about 140 or so at stake, and it's an 8 of diamonds. He continues for 125, which is a pretty big bet in relation to the size of the pot. We now no longer beat an 8. The only queen that we beat he'd have to have like Queen 6 or below, which doesn't make too much sense. 9-10 is the straight draw, which we block. I think we're gonna pick a different spot. We wait, we fold.
My first hand, I looked down at Ace-King offsuit, and as you can see, my stack is rather big, so I've been playing for a few hours before the boys got here and running hot. The low jack opens to 20, small blind 3-bet to 105, and I'm in the big blind, an interesting spot here. Definitely gonna 4-bet, but with my stack size and his stack size, I don't think I can go all in because he's got like $800. Seems like too much just to rip it. So I make it 200 and min-click 4-bet, and the small blind makes the call. Flop comes 8-7-2, 2 clubs and a heart. Bad flop for me, thinks got a lot of pairs here. I'm gonna check, try to get our king or ace in the turn, and that's exactly what comes, the king of clubs. This time he checks again to us, and now I'm gonna go for some value. I don't wanna see a 4th club peel off, so I bet $200, and he jams all in for 405. I think I could be getting free rolled here with ace king with ace of clubs, but we're gonna make the call, and the river is the jack of spades. He tells us he's got pocket 10s, doesn't want to show, and I show my ace king, and we are good. Great hand to start this challenge off.
Trying to keep the ball rolling, we pick up ace queen in the small blind and 3-bet over a cutoff open. The cutoff calls and we're heads up to 9-6-3 rainbow on the flop. I fire a bullet for $70, and the cutoff unfortunately doesn't give up just yet. He makes a call. Turn is a 7, and it's the second heart on board, a card I would often check with most of my range here, and the cutoff is a good player. I think he knows that as well. So using some reverse psychology, because he knows I shouldn't be betting this card very often, I think a big bet in theory should look super strong. I fire once more relentlessly for $235, praying for a fold, but that is not what we get. This player only has about $450 total, so if he calls here, we'll likely have to give up on the river. He doesn't call though, he jams all in. Oh my gosh, my stomach drops. I Hollywood for a few seconds while I kick myself under the table. I fold my cards, rack up my chips, and head over to the doctor because I just got a call and found out I was diagnosed with fancy play syndrome.
This hand we have King Queen offsuit on the button. We see the cutoff open it up to 25 5x. This was an older gentleman, and a gentleman that had been making comments about me not playing many hands since I sat down. We're coming in for the 3-bet. We make it $75. Folds back to him, and he makes the call. So definitely going to weight him towards a stronger range after his big open and calling my 3-bet after we know what he thinks about my play style. So we're off to a flop, and that flop is ace, ace, 4, rainbow. He checks. We're going to c-bet as the pre-flop aggressor and 3-better. We make it $60, but he sticks around with a call. Off to a turn, which is the 9 of diamonds, and he checks again. When he calls the c-bet, I think he's got a lot of good stuff here. This is a really dry board. I don't know what he calls with besides just an ace or maybe a pocket pair, and I don't know if he's going to fold a pocket pair to a double barrel here, so we check it back. The river, the king of hearts. We pick up that pair, and he does not care, because he assembles a bet of $350. Yes, he overbets the pot, and now we really got to think. We had him weighted towards ace X or pocket pairs. I think pocket pairs are probably just going to try to get to showdown on this river. So it's either ace or nothing, but what could nothing even be? When I can't come up with plausible bluffs, but I can come up with a lot of plausible value, I think we lay it down. And that's what I do, but we get to see what he has. Let's check it out.
Now hold on. You like me, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna like me no matter what I show you?
Yeah. You're a sicko. Nice hand. I like you even more.
Next hand, I've got 10-9 of spades and a hijack open to 15, button calls and the big blind calls. Flop comes king, jack 4, 2 spades and a heart. Great board for us. I definitely should be betting this one, but I decided to go fancy and try to check raise, but the button does not oblige. He checks it back, and the turn is the ace of spades. So now we have a flush in a small pot. We're gonna try to make that pot bigger, betting $20. Button folds and the big blind makes the call. The river is the 4 of spades, bringing that 4th flush in. Bad card for us, but still, when he checks to us, trying to get a little value from worse spades, I make it $40 to go, and the big blind player check raises us to 225. We no longer have the second nuts because the boat outs are there, so he could have ace 4, jack 4, king 4, queen of spades, naked queen of spades. It's a pretty bad spot for us. If he bluffed us, we're gonna just pat the table. We make the fold. Maybe he'll comment down below what he had.
All right. Or the WSOP.
Looks like 6.
Poker boy.
Poker boy dealer. He's gonna make a NEXTGEN
Jingle.
intro jingle. That's all. Stay tuned.
We open 6-4 spades on the button over limp and get it heads up. Something extremely unexpected happens here, almost as unexpected as my huge score in WPT Global's $110 bounty tournament. I cashed for almost $3,000 in 7th place out of 630 players. Seriously, one of the softest sites for tournament and cash game play, and there's a $1,200 sign up bonus just for you in the description box below. We flop the world on jack 5-3 with 2 spades. He checks. I'm gonna try to pile money in here fast as possible. I bet $35 and he makes a call. Excited to continue to blast on almost any turn card besides maybe a board pair, and it's another 5. Brutal card. He checks and I check this one back. River is the king of diamonds. We completely brick, just too many outs I guess, and this guy checks once again. If he's got a jack or some sort of weak pocket pair, he's likely calling a reasonable bet here, but I think a big bet might get those hands to start folding. I wager with my 6 high, 5 green chips, $125. This guy shakes his head in disgust and does not seem to like this bet, scoffs a few more times, and then grabs 4 black chips and raises me to $400. Wow, that is only the nuts, I guess, isn't it? We can't compete here with our 6 high. I fold and we just seem to keep running into it.
This hand we have ace king offsuit on the button playing 6-handed. We need to catch the boys. We need a big pot. This is a big hand. The low jack opens to 20. The cutoff calls. We 3-bet it up to $100. We see the low jack call and the cutoff fold. So we're off to a flop heads up in position, which comes 8-7-4 with 2 diamonds. He checks to us. This board does not hit our hand. It does not hit our 3-betting range, so we check it back. The turn is the deuce of clubs, an offsuit card, and he now bets $75, about a third of the pot. Honestly, not really sure what to do here. We've got ace high. We could be drawing to just hit a pair. I don't really know if we're going to be able to call down with ace high on a brick river that doesn't improve us. So we elect to just give this one up right here, right now, and we make the fold.
Next hand, we have ace queen of hearts on the button. It says the jack has left, but he's still at the table here because this is the opponent that he just tilted with pocket queens. I open button to 20 and the tilted player raises to 75. We got a great hand in position. We make the call. Flop comes ace 8-7 all spades. Big blind c-bet small for $55. Nothing to do but just call and assess a turn card, which is the ace of clubs. We like the turn and he checks it to us. Now, I think that I don't want to get check raised, so I decided to check it back, but still think there's value to be had. And the river comes with 2 of clubs, so thankfully no spade peeled off, and he bets $100. A very small bet. I think that the bet line is rather weak, so I debate raising for a little bit before just putting in the call, and he has 8-6. They turn to a bluff. We win.
We look down at Jack 10 of diamonds on the button. We changed to a new table, needed to switch up the energy. We need a big pot to give us a chance to win and not have to give 5% of our $1 million bounty that we're going to pull to the boys. That's 50,000 right there. Can't have that. The low jack opens to 20. The high jack calls, we call, and vlog watcher Kazma calls in the small blind. We're off to a flop 4 ways, which comes ace 10 9 with 2 spades and 1 diamond. It goes check, check, and check with no c-bet from the pre-flop aggressor. The hijack would likely bet an ace, so as long as Kazma doesn't have an ace in the small blind, our pair of 10s should be best. And we also have backdoor straight and flush draws to help us out if needed. I bet $50 for value with second pair. Kazma calls, and the others fold.
Put me in the vlog, boys. Let's do it. I checked dark.
The turn is the 4 of diamonds, bringing in our backdoor flush draw. Kazma checked dark, which is usually a sign of weakness, so let's fire that second barrel. I bet $125, 2/3 pot.
It's a gift. I checked dark.
We see the deuce of spades on the river. Not what I wanted to see. Kazma's play throughout the hand screams like it's a draw, and the most obvious draw just got there. We check it back, and he shows us King 5 of spades for indeed the rivered flush. Nice hand, Kazma, and thank you for watching the channel, man.
So ever since the first hand, things are going great, and we have a mystery hand this time on the button. Hijack opens to 15, our new friend that we 3-bet to $50, and he makes the call. This hand's a mystery because I just want to show you how I play my range on the board 10-7-2. This is a board that I'm either going to check or bet big, and I go for a bigger bet. I make it $65 to go, and I love the audio that happens after this hand as he explains his entire thought process to us.
65. So here are the things that I'm balancing in my head. One is that it seems like stupid to fold to 1 bet, but there's not a lot of turns that I'm gonna like. But on the other hand, he like really did like one of those guys like, trust me guys, this hand ain't going anywhere. So then that makes me want to call, but I'm not gonna call because I'm not gonna like any turn cards.
Okay, I had pocket jacks, but I wanted him to think I had queen jacks, so listen to what I say.
Nice hand, I had pocket 5s.
That's exactly the hand I was targeting.
Next hand, we pick up ace 4 of spades on the button. We open, and the guy who has 3-bet us the last 3 times we opened, I have a feeling he's coming after us, raises again to $80. I folded each time so far. Now it's time to take a stand. We have removal to aces. This is a weak configuration. He can be 3-betting pretty wide. I 4-bet to 225. He folds right away, and I flash a 4 just to get that image going, and we right away pick up pocket kings a few hands later. Perfect time to capitalize on this image. We 3-bet and get 1 caller and end up playing it sneaky, checking an overpair on the flop, which gets this guy to jam all in. We call and we hold, stacking a short stack at the table to wrap up the night. We ended up about $600. Frankie's up $1,000 though, so we still have $400 to make up if we want to win this challenge, but poker is such a slow grind. How can we win $400 super fast?
My last hand, things are going swimmingly. I have ace queen of clubs, another very strong hand. Jack straddled to 10, I raised to 30, and he tried to push my bet back, but can't do that, buddy. Small blind calls and jack folds. Heads up to a flop which comes queen jack 7. I bet $40, rather big again against our friend, and the small blind makes the call for $40. The turn is a brick, it's a 5, and when he checks to me, I decided to go for a pot here. I bet $150, targeting 9, 10, king 10, putting them in a miserable spot, making them potentially have to fold their draw. And he says that he should have 3-bet and then makes the fold. So if he had king queen, I think that's the hand he's talking about. That would have been an amazing fold, and props to him for making it.
All right, these two boys are at the same table. It's kind of getting late, and I want to get ready for the mystery bounty tomorrow, up 1,000. See if these guys can catch up.
Sitting and running.
Fold. Oh.
Time in your hand, sir.
All right, will these two catch up?
Stay tuned, we will.
Let's see.
All right, so ended the session. I was in for 600, out for a little over 1,000, so up a little over 400.
And I lost $500, but that's not important. We're about to put 25 each on Dragon on Baccarat. That pays 40 to 1, which means if Jack hits, he will pass Frankie in profit for the session. So
Let's
here we go.
All right, we're putting it all on 25, baby. Lucky number 25. All right, let's do it.
All right, Frankie, you win.
You win, Frank. Good luck, buddy.
Good luck, player.
I better not pull this million now. I'm rooting against myself.